Hey guys, it has been quite a while since I did one of these. Um, I have this clutch that is ready to cut. This is from a Pastel DG Clown bred to a Pastel Spectre double het DG Cryptic. So, let's go ahead, see if we get any DG Kryptons. That looks pretty promising. Hmm. That does look like it's probably a Krypton. Could be a DG Krypton. So, Super Pastel could potentially interfere with knowing something's DG or not. It doesn't look DG. Yeah, I don't even know if that's a Cryptic. Or a Krypton, I should say. It could be a normal or a Pastel. There's 9 eggs in this clutch. This female has been proven over a couple times. Actually, only recently found out that she's het cryptic, though. That looks like it's potential to be a Krypton. It is not pastel and it's not DG. You can't see the eye, but the pattern does look like it could be a cryptic or a Krypton. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely potentially a Krypton. I think that first one's definitely just a normal, possibly a pastel. I guess the goal in here would be, now that is super pastel. That actually does look super pastel DG, and I think that could be a Krypton. So I will know obviously when it's out, but I mean it's easy to say right here that that's super pastel. It definitely looks way too blushed out not to be DG, and then that pattern does look very sus to be Krypton. So that's pretty cool. Now, if this could end up being a Spectre, that would be even better. Yeah, I guess the goal for me would be to hit a DG Krypton Spectre. Pastel, super pastel, no pastel, doesn't matter to me on that. But I would keep a female. Uh, maybe actually a DG Krypton Spectre might be worth keeping. I have a Spectre Krypton Het DG male. So that looks pastel and looks probably DG. Yeah, could be a pastel DG right there. It's always fun hatching out DGs, that's for sure. This looks probably DG. Yeah, I'd say that's probably a pastel DG. That's pretty cool. This one could be Spectre. With a stripe like that, I could definitely see that being a pastel Spectre DG. That's not pastel. That's pretty clean. It could be just hat influence though. That looks really clean though. But maybe it's a Spectre with hat influence. I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. Sometimes DG without pastel, you really just have to wait until they're out and they have their first shed. I've definitely noticed that. I've been fooled quite a few times, thinking something is DG when it's not, or even thinking something's not DG when it is. When pastel's involved, it's a hell of a lot easier to tell. That is definitely, well, from that nose, that's Krypton. That is definitely DG and definitely pastel. I don't think it's super pastel, but with a pattern like that, it could potentially be Spectre. So I'm definitely going to get my hopes up on this one being a pastel Spectre DG Krypton. That would be awesome. That or this right here, that's definitely a super pastel DG Krypton. Spectre, I don't know. But this one, I think I would get my hopes up on this one being Spectre. Like I said, I think a male may be worth keeping for me, especially since I'm always kind of running low on males. And if you don't already know, I'm like huge into the Super Stripe stuff. I have a lot of Super Stripe in my DG. I actually have breeder Super Stripe DG females that are 50% het cryptic that came from this same mom. I should test those girls. One of them is going to lay this year, bred by the Spectre Krypton Het DG. So this looks interesting. Again, pretty clean, but I don't think that's DG at all. I think that's just hat influence, and that could be Spectre. I really don't know yet. We'll see what we think when they are out. So this is the last egg, and so far, it's been a pretty good clutch. It looks like we did hit 2 Spectre Kryptons, probably. I feel confident in saying the one is definitely I'm sorry, I don't know if I said Spectre in there, but we hit 2 DG Kryptons, I'm pretty sure. The one I really am confident in calling it a DG Krypton. The one that's super pastel, you know, who knows? I could be fooled. Maybe it turns out not to be Krypton, but we'll see. It's the head that really, you know, you got to see it to know it. And again, this one is not pastel, but that's really clean. That's interestingly clean, actually. No, this one. I think this one could turn out to be a DG. Yeah, I think so. We'll see. We'll see, but I think this one could potentially be a DG. that's looking like probably a Super Pastel DG Krypton. It's a really cool looking animal. I really feel like that's going to be a Krypton. If we could see the head, it'd be a little easier to tell, but I think that's going to be Krypton. This one right here is Pastel DG, maybe Spectre. I don't think that's a Krypton. But this one, I think this was the one. Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, I think this was it. Nope, this wasn't it. That's just a Pastel DG. This is the one. This one is definitely a Pastel DG Krypton. And I'm getting my hopes up on this one being Spectre. So, we'll see. In a few days they'll come out. A week after that they should have a shed. I'll probably do an update video after these guys have their first shed. And we'll see what we have. But overall, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a possibility of 5 DGs, but definitely 4. And I can only say that 1, 2 are giving me Krypton vibes. I think one of these other ones was looking possible Krypton, but we may only have hit the 2. If we only hit 2 Kryptons and they happen to be DG Kryptons, I will definitely take that. So, all right, guys, and then even icing on the cake, if they both turn out to be Spectre, and they might not leave here unless they're both males. All right, guys. So take care of yourselves. My season has pretty much just begun. I've hatched a couple clutches right now. Maybe I'll show off the last clutch that hatched. But I have a whole bunch of clutches coming. I have 14 more clutches in the incubator, and I should probably hit around 50 clutches again this year, something around there. So give or take a few anyway. So we're going to have a pretty decent year, and hopefully the odds are in our favor. All right, guys, take care of yourselves.